Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to part 2 of the BMW build series. So today what I want to do is diagnose the engine. I want to actually figure out what's wrong with it and make sure that we are getting the right parts and I know what I'm getting myself into. So I'm going to do a quick compression test to check all the cylinders, make sure we have compression in the cylinders, and then we'll kind of move on from there. I suspect that we're going to have really low compression in cylinder 4. That's the one we're getting all the misfires on. I did yesterday swap the coil pack and spark plugs and fuel injectors around just to check to see if anything changed, and we kept getting the same codes in cylinder 4. One other thing that was going on was there's a ton of oil on the spark plug. That is a very good indicator that oil is getting passed through past the piston rings up into the cylinder, and that's why we're getting all the smoking and misfiring. So when your spark plugs are wet with oil, they obviously won't spark, and that's where we're getting that misfire, where it's not we're not getting full ignition in that cylinder. So what I've done so far is just disconnect the leads for each of the injectors. So they go right here, and there's just a little like a little press piece of plastic here that holds it in. So if you just pull that back, the plug will come right out. So I did that on all 4 injectors, and then I'm going to start with cylinder 4 back here. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. And what you need to do to take out the coil pack here is just lift up on this piece here, and then it'll pop the plug out. And then once the plug's out, there's a little hole you can kind of stick your finger in, and you just lift up, and that pulls that out. So the next thing is to get the spark plug down out of there. And you will need a specialty tool. I actually made this one because I didn't feel like buying it, but it is a 14mm socket that has a very, very thin wall to be able to fit down into the spark plug hole. So all I did was just take a 14mm socket and ground it down until it was pretty thin, and fits perfectly down in there. So we're going to take out the spark plug here, and then we're going to hook up our compression tester and see what we get. Alright, so this is just a cheapo compression tester I got. I'm pretty sure I got it at Harbor Freight. You will need to change out one of the adapters, so this will fit inside the cylinder. And then, yeah, we're just going to plug it in and run it, let it turn over a few times and see what we get on here. Alright, I got everything hooked up. I'm going to go in and turn the engine over a few times. I had to hook up a jump pack because the battery's a little low. Alright, so as you can tell, this is not good. So it's pretty low in cylinder 4, but it also is cold. So I'd imagine it'd probably be like 60 to 80 maybe when it's warm. So I'm going to check the other cylinders and make sure we don't have any issues, and we'll go from there. Alright, so as you saw, we checked all 4 cylinders, and it looks like cylinder 4 has a pretty big issue with the compression. We had like 0 to 5 psi. It's a pretty good indicator that there is an issue with the piston rings. I don't think I'm going to do a wet compression test because it really doesn't matter. There's 0 compression in there, and I did do a quick leak down test yesterday, and all of the air was escaping out of the oil filler cap. So that lets me know that it was getting into the crankcase and pressurizing the crankcase and then coming out through the oil. So there's 100% an issue with the piston. Either the ring land had cracked or the rings themselves blew out, and they just need to be replaced. I'm hoping the cylinder wall itself in there is pretty good. If not, we're gonna have to source another block and kind of go from bare bones and rebuild the whole thing. I don't want to have to do that because I've never really like balanced anything or replaced any like cranks or anything like that. So if we have to do that, it'll be fun, but it might be a challenge. I know there's a lot of different sizes for the rod bearings and main bearings, things like that. So we'll have to figure out how to size all that and source all that stuff. But yeah, so it looks like we're gonna have a pretty big project tearing into the motor. We're gonna have to pull it out, break everything down to the piston and rods, and you know, doing some inspections and make sure everything's good. So that's gonna do it for this video. Make sure you subscribe so you can follow along with the build, and you know, any comments or advice would be nice. I don't know much about these cars, like I said in the beginning, so if you guys have any suggestions or anything, let me know. Thanks.